Well, well, we have some. These panels here look a little different. Well, we have. I know what it is. This is a 16-inch LocSeam, 26 gauge, and so what do you see are primary use of these things?
This panel is largely used in the residential industry, and the basic reason is because this panel has concealed fasteners. The previous panels we've been talking about use a screw with a rubber grommet, as you put in hundreds of thousands of those.
Yeah, tell me about it.
This screw, as you can see, has a rubber washer and a metal cap above that rubber washer to protect it from UV. Now that metal cap is separate from the head itself so that the head can spin independently of that. So as you're putting it in and the little burr from the panel comes up and catches the washer, the head can continue to spin while the washer holds fast and doesn't tear. That's the type of screw we use for those panels. This panel, we use a wafer head type of screw, and that screw becomes a concealed fastener then, because your next panel will snap right over top of that row of screws, covering them up, and you'll end up with a field in your roof with no exposed fasteners.
So the screw goes in the hole here, or it can, or in somewhere.
That's correct.
And then when this goes over it, the screw is not exposed anymore. Of course, that's the whole purpose of it. And one of the major values of this is that that you have no screws exposed, at least exposed penetrations, least possibility of ever a leakage.
That's correct.
I mean, now these are a tried and proven product with the MagnaRib, PBR, pole buildings and such. But we many times will put LocSeam roofs on pole buildings. It's an attribute that it's an option that we offer, and of course when we do that, we will also we need to sheet the roof with plywood and then put the LocSeam on, and it gives a lot more of a longer lasting roof as well, I've noticed.
Much longer lasting. One of the other characteristics we want to point out while we're still talking about this profile is that our panel has a slot, 3 slots every 16 inches to put your screw through. Many panels of this type do not have slots, just a flange that you need to penetrate with your fastener. This has the slots in place. You can apply your screws in about 1/5 the amount of time. You're not needing to penetrate that. You can go directly into your deck without any time wasted trying to get through the panel itself.
And I could personally attest to how nice that is, having those holes there when we install. Or even if a homeowner was going to build their own pole building, how much easier it would make it, because just putting screws in the metal, the screw could fall off, and it's just zip, zip, zip. It just makes life a lot easier.